ये स्टूडेंट्स अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज हमने सीखना है हाउ टू कन्वर्ट ए वर्ड प्रॉब्लम और सिचुएशन इनटू एन algebraic equation. That is, we have to represent a situation into a pair of linear equations in two variables. That is the first let us take the first question of your exercise, wherein you are being told that Aftab's age and his daughter's age 7 years ago and 3 years from now have been given as the conditions. Aftab tells his daughter that 7 years ago I shall be 7 times as old as you were then, and then he gives he, here the second condition that years from now he his age will be twice as his daughter's age as will be then we had to represent this situation algebraically. To represent this situation algebraically, let us let us do one thing. Let us see what are the unknown things, unknown quantities in this situation. In this scene we see that the unknowns are the present ages of Tom and his daughter. Let us denote the unknowns by the two variables. So we have two unknowns. Knowns. Number one is present age of Tom. तो यहाँ पर हम लिखेंगे एजेस हैं, तो अननोन्स हमारे पास एजेस हैं, एक है आफ्ताब्स, एक है हिज डॉटर्स, आफ्ताब्स daughters. So we have two unknowns. Let's first present age is unknown for us. So if we know the present age of Aftab, we are able to calculate his age 7 years ago and 3 years from now. Similarly, if we know the present age of Aftab's daughters, we will be able to calculate his age of 7 years ago and 3 years from now. Let us denote the present age of Aftab by x variable x and his daughter's age by another variable, that's y. Suppose we denote these two unknowns by two variables. These are the present ages of Aftab is x, present age of his daughters is y. Then we are able to calculate their ages 7 years ago. 7 years ago, what will be associated? That is present age minus 7, that is x minus 7, and what will be Otto's daughter's age 7 years ago? That will be y minus 7. So in this way we are able to calculate their ages 7 years ago. Now what will be 3 years later? 3 years from now, 3 years from now, or 3 years later. After 3 years, Otto's present age is x, and after 3 years it will be x plus 3. Similarly, for Otto's daughters it will be y plus 3. So having calculated all these things, it's an idea how to represent this. Now the first condition of the question, what does that mean? Imply. First condition of the question is that 7 years ago Aftab's age will be 7 times his daughter's. his daughters. Then, so we have formulated a word equation first. Now we will substitute for words, will substitute the symbols, that is the expression as we got above. 7 years ago, Arthab's age is x minus 7. We will represent this x minus by x minus 7 equal to 7 times his daughter's age 7 years ago was y minus 7. So we will represent it by y minus 7, y minus 7. So simple. Now what we get over here is x minus 7 is equal to 7y minus 7, 7 is 49. So this will be equal to x minus 7 y by transposing all the term to the left hand side, plus 14 plus 49 minus 7 is equal to 0. Imply that x minus 7y plus 42 is equal to 0. So in this way we got the first equation representing the first condition of this word problem, that is, this is the first equation. Now the second condition will lead to the second equation. Second condition. Now we will represent the second condition by a word equation. Similarly, you need not to do all the things. These are roughly we are enabling you to give an idea about how to represent this situation algebraically. You can, having learned it, you can represent the situation directly into an equation or use a refs like this. Second condition, what does second condition say? Second condition says that 3 years from now, 3 years later, Octav's age is equal to 3 times his daughter's age. Then, so 3 years from later, his daughter's his age after present age x, and 3 years from now we will now substitute the expression for it. This x plus 3 is equal to 3 times his daughter's is y plus 3 3 years later. This will imply that x plus 3 is equal to 3 times y plus 3 3 years are 9. So we will give x minus 3y plus 3 minus 9 is equal to 0. We have transposed the terms from right hand side to the left hand side. We got this equation as such: x minus 3y minus 6 is equal to 0. This is our second equation. So we have in this way represented the situation, given situation, into an algebraic form, that is into two equations, in two variables. That is, first equation was x minus 7y plus 42. So first equation, two equations we got. Second is this. First is x minus perhaps 7y plus 42. 7y plus 42 is equal to 0. This was our first condition equation. So in this way, these are the two equations, pair of equations we got. So we will, in the next lecture, we will represent these two equations graphically.